Hi everybody, happy Monday! Are you ready for another fun-filled week? So, we've read 2 chapters of Stuart Little already. Today we're going to read chapter 3. They're pretty short chapters. They're just a few pages, which is perfect for us. So we're going to add to our... Wait, move this way a little bit. There we go. We're going to add to our story map. So, I have here... some settings. So I put the little house, but then I also specified some places within the little house. So I put the drain, the piano, under furniture, pretty much all the places that Stuart goes. So those are some settings. And then I have some problems. So the ring got stuck down the drain, there are ping pong balls under things, the piano key sticks, the word mouse or mice are in stories, the mouse hole that's in the kitchen. These are all problems that happened in the first 2 chapters. So those can go under problems. Okay. But I realize now that I did not write any solutions. Well, the solutions really were that, I'll add to the solutions, I'll do that after I'm done recording. The solutions, though, would be that Stuart was able to help out and retrieve certain things, like the ring and the ping pong balls, and then Mr. and Mrs. Little took the word mice or mouse out of, they removed those nursery rhymes, or they changed the words, and Mr. Little wanted to make sure that they covered up that mouse hole in the kitchen so that Stuart doesn't someday want to go explore it. And then we have our events, right? And so I did actually put some of the solutions under events because I did write that, well, I'll do it in order. I put that the Littles have a mouse. He goes to the doctor and has a good checkup. They already have a son named George. And then I put Stuart helps out around the house. That would be an event, right? There were several events. You know, he helped out in many different ways. I kind of lumped it all into one sentence. And then I also put that Mr. and Mrs. Little worry. Those are, you know, that's a pretty significant event, I think. It's hard doing the story map without all of you to help. It's kind of weird doing it by myself and kind of trying to decide on my own what is important and what needs to be up on there. I'm doing my best. Okay, so now we've got chapter 3. Chapter 3 is titled Washing Up. Here we go. Stuart was an early riser, so that means he likes to get up early. He was almost always the first person up in the morning. He liked the feeling of being the first one up. He enjoyed the quiet rooms with the books standing still on the shelves, the pale light coming in through the windows, and the fresh smell of day. In wintertime, it would be quite dark when he climbed out from his bed made out of the cigarette box, and he sometimes shivered with cold as he stood in his nightgown to do his exercises. Do any of you do exercises as soon as you wake up in the morning? Do you do any stretches? Like a little stretch, something like that? Stuart touched his toes 10 times every morning to keep himself fit. He had seen his brother George doing it, and George explained that it helped keep the stomach muscles firm. Okay. After exercising, Stuart would slip on his handsome wool robe, tie the cord tightly around his waist, and start off to the bathroom, creeping silently through the long, dark hallway, past his mother and father's room, past the hall closet where the vacuum cleaner was kept, past George's room, and along by the top of the stairs until he got to the bathroom. Sounds like he has to travel really far to get to the bathroom. Of course, the bathroom would be dark too, but Stuart's father had thoughtfully tied a long string to pull the light switch. The string reached all the way to the floor. By grasping it up as high as he could and throwing his whole weight on it, Stuart was able to turn on the light. Swinging the string on this way, with his long bathrobe trailing around his ankles, he looked like a little old friar pulling the bell rope of the bells in the abbey. You should look up a video of that. You'll see what that means. It's really funny. Some churches have really, really big bells, and so you have to like throw your whole weight into them to get them to ring. It's really funny. To get to the sink, Stuart had to climb a tiny rope ladder which his father had fixed for him. George had promised to build Stuart a special sink, only 1 inch high and with a little rubber tube through which the water would flow. But George was always saying he was going to build something and then forgetting about it. Typical brother. So Stuart just went ahead and climbed the rope ladder to the family sink. And every morning he washed his face and hands, he brushed his teeth. Mrs. Little had provided him with a doll's size toothbrush, a doll's size bar of soap, a doll's size washcloth, and a doll's comb, which he used for combing his whiskers. He carried these things in his bathrobe pocket, and when he reached the top of the ladder, he took them out, laid them neatly in a row, and set about turning on the water. For such a small fellow, turning on the water was quite a problem. He had discussed it with his father one day after making several unsuccessful attempts. I can get up to the faucet all right, he explained, but I can't seem to turn it on because I have nothing to brace my feet against. Yes, I know, his father replied. That's the whole trouble. George, who always listened to conversations whenever he could, said that in his opinion they ought to construct a brace for Stuart, and with that he got out some boards, a saw, a hammer, a screwdriver, and some nails, and started to make a big fuss in the bathroom, building what he said was going to be a brace for Stuart. But he soon became interested in something else and disappeared, leaving the tools lying all over the bathroom floor. George, come on. Oi. Stuart, after examining this mess, turned to his father again. Maybe I could pound the faucet with something and turn it on that way, he said. So, Stuart's father provided him with a very small, light hammer made of wood. And Stuart found that by swinging it 3 times around his head and letting it come down with a crash against the handle of the faucet, he could start a thin stream of water flowing, enough to brush his teeth in anyway and to wet his washcloth. So every morning, after climbing to the sink, he would grab his hammer, pound the faucet, and the other members of the household, dozing in their beds, would hear a bright, sharp plink, plink, plink of Stuart's hammer, like a faraway blacksmith, telling them that the day had come and Stuart was trying to brush his teeth. Oh my goodness. There's a picture of him. You know, it really, look, he's whacking the faucet with a hammer. It kind of sounds like life is really hard for Stuart. Oh my goodness. He has to work a lot. He must be in great shape because a lot of the things he's having to do take a lot of physical strength. All right, my friends, I will add some more to our story map for next time. But there you have it. That's chapter 3. Have a terrific Monday.